Hello, everybody. Hello. Magandang hapon to magandang umaga to everybody who's joined us on today here on Kumu and Facebook. um, Thank you so much for joining us today on Usapang Kahusayan. Today we are talking about excellence talk. So, this is something that is close to both Mafe and I's heart because we really, truly believe that in everything that we do, we should always be infusing excellence, whether that is in ourselves or whether we're helping somebody else. I think we should always sprinkle excellence in all that we do. Right, Mafe?
Yeah, honestly, that's the greatest value to have because it's all about learning right now, being inspired from other people's stories, other people's, journeys, and, just having this topic today. Thank you, Yona, for including me because I really look up to our guest and his journey and the way he is as a person.
Exactly. And, we really, here at EVS, we really created this platform or this show so that we are able to have those conversations, to be able to have a conversation where it's open, where we're open to learning, we're open to discussing, and just really being really wanting to be better with ourselves. Because really, at the end of the day, we're inspired to be better. We do better. So I think it's really important for our viewers to have that open-mindedness. And for any conversations or for any topics that we do talk about, particularly in Usapang Kahusayan, excellence talk, it's nothing, we're just really shining a bright light on the amazing aspects of, the Filipino culture, the Filipino people. And perhaps, there might be times where we discuss things where we can improve. But we can develop. But at the end of the day, it's always about wanting to, infuse that excellence. So today, like what Mafe mentioned, we have an amazing guest who I'm excited to get to know more and excited to introduce to our empowered community. Today we have James Rumohr. He's an Air Force veteran, a husband, a dad, an educator, a mentor, and the Chief of Staff at Kumu, which is super, super exciting for both Mafe and I. Now, James's dedication and hard work and perseverance continues to inspire Filipinos all over the world to work towards what they want and pursue their goals and aspirations in life despite the many obstacles stand in our way. Now, Kumu is a powerful social media platform that we're currently streaming on as well right now, that bring the voices of Filipinos from all over the globe at the forefront. Now, aside from presenting users real-time earning opportunities as a live streamer, chances to win cash in various game shows, and engagement in campaigns, Kumu also fosters communities that ignite relevant discussions among Filipinos. So as you can imagine, I am so excited right now. Now, to this day, Kumu continues to play an instrumental role in the lives of so many Filipinos, and a lot of that is thanks to James and his wonderful team. So, without further ado, right, Mafe? Let's welcome James on the show.
Hi, James.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yona, thank you for having me today. Mafe, thank you for also inviting me to the show. I appreciate the invite, and I cannot wait to start discussing about some great topics that we have for today. And I really appreciate the warm welcome as well for the show. So everyone here at Empowered Virtual Services and Yona's team, maraming salamat for having me today.
Oh, wonderful. No, but maraming salamat to you, James, for being here, for joining us. As I briefly mentioned, this show is all about excellence talk. So it's really about what we can do as individuals, what we can do as teams to really to bring out the best in each other. And that way it actually, we're able to achieve great things together. So I wanted to, if you could please just share with us, who James is and what is it that you do?
Hello, everybody. Kumusta? Magandang umaga for everybody in the Philippines, and good afternoon for everyone else around the world, and good evening as well. When I describe myself, I have to go to my humble beginnings in East San Jose, California. It's a low income community where I'm from, back in the States, and it's pretty. I'm a son of a Teamster. My dad was part of the union where he worked as a warehouseman, and my mom worked in the electronic assembly line in Silicon Valley, right? And I bring that because I have hardworking parents, and they instilled that hardworking attitude to me in an early age. And I always had an affinity of going back to the Philippines all the time because my parents always took me back to the Philippines, when they have a chance to during summer vacations and whatnot, to visit my family and visit a lot of places throughout the Philippines. So I loved the Philippines early on. Growing up, I played sports. I was very active. I didn't have the best of grades, but I always showed up. I was always in the classroom, but it doesn't mean I was, the best studious person in the world, right? Fast forward after high school, I joined the United States Air Force as a military police officer and served proudly for 7.5 years. And after that, I went, during that time, I met my wife, and then also met some of the Kumu co-founders at University of California, Santa Barbara, UCSB, because I was partying there hard, because that's where all the Filipinos are at. And on the military base, I have a lot of military friends, much love to all my military brethren and sisters. But I partied hard with the Filipino community off base at a college, and that's where I met my wife. I met Roland, another co-founder, Angelo, Andrew, and one of my other close friends named Alex, and we all met there, and that's where I met my wife. We've been married since 2004, and now I served 7.5 years. I was in Korea, I was in the Middle East, and then I always wanted to become a teacher, an educator while I was in the service, and even before then. I think I was inspired by my grandma on my mom's side to become a teacher, and I finally used the chance to use my government benefits, right, the Montgomery GI Bill in the United States to pay for college. Feedback, okay. And then when I was after my military career, I went to school full time, and I started coaching American football. I know there's a lot of definitions of football around the world. We have rugby, Austin rules football, American football. Right. The one with the helmets. The one with the helmets. It's the one I coached. Okay.
Gridiron.
Yeah, the gridiron. So I coached football when I was going to school to get my bachelor's degree, and I worked in education since. So basically, from 2007 all the way to 2018, I was an educator. I was always coaching football. And when I say as an educator, I believe coaching is education. So I always consider that my first job in education was a football coach. But I later, during the time, also was a high school teacher, a middle school teacher. I ran nonprofit programs on the side. I mentored teachers. I mentored young adults who just graduated college. And then I eventually became a principal, a vice principal of a school, becoming the dean of students for like two years before I came to Kumu. Okay. And when I was a principal of school, that time, that was my goal, to become a principal, to become a dean. Right. And I just wanted, like I always told my wife, I just want to coach football and discipline kids and mentor them, right, in such a way. And I got to that point, and then at the same time, my wife was pregnant, and then, Roland Ross, the co-founder, another co-founder and the CEO of Kumu right now, he called me and says, "Hey, James, I have an idea. I know you love the Philippines, and I know you love going back there. What do you think about us working together and connecting Filipinos around the world?" And at that moment, that was, I guess, it changed my life a little bit, right? Remind you, I'm at the pinnacle of my career. My wife's pregnant, and at that time, when Roland called me, I'm in a drugstore in Sacramento, California, and I sat down on the middle of the floor. I was talking to Roland for 30 minutes, and we don't talk that often. And then he called me and says, "Hey, you want to do this move and start connecting Filipinos around the world?" And that was it. He didn't say how. He didn't say an app. He didn't say nothing. And then, boom. 2018 hits, and now you fast forward to 2021, 3 years now. It's been 3 years exactly since my first trip back to the Philippines with Roland of starting Kumu. And now here we are. Now I'm talking to Yona and Mafe. So that's my real quick introduction.
Wow. That is amazing.
Freaking amazing.
I know. That is so amazing. Like, you've gone from so many like industries, really.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're talking, I mean, we're talking about the army as well. Like, that is so insane. Like, you just went from here and then now you're there in the Philippines. Oh, well, not here, but like from the West to Korea to, and then now you're there in the Philippines, educating and inspiring Filipinos. Like, your story, James, is really inspiring. Like, the fact that you were in a drugstore and you just had that conversation and you're sitting on the floor for 30 minutes. And then now you're there in the Philippines for 3 years. Who would have thought that conversation would have brought you? Did you, like, what made you think, yeah, this is such a great idea?
I think I could really answer that fast. It's when he told me about it. Remember, when Roland called me and he said, "Are you down? I know you love the Philippines, of course." And then he said the next thing was, "There's a plan I have. I want to do something about connecting Filipinos around the world." And from that, I said yes, because of the fact that if you go down my lineage of my work history, my employment history, my passions, it's all been about service and servicing others.
Yes.
Right. So you put it back to, put that call Roland, and then you fast forward to now, it's all about the service. It's all about, serving others and helping others and connecting others still, which look at that. Right. Those folks are all from Luzon and all around the Philippines, right, to that picture with the co-founders. And that was like, matter of fact, that picture right there, it really shows the service to others as we help a lot of those folks out. Were just, all of them are users that turn into Kumu employees. Amazing. That's the beautiful thing about it, that picture right there. So again, it's service. It's connecting with others. It's going back to your topic of the day, excellence. And that's what, we strive to do every day. We don't settle we're happy about victories. We celebrate any and all victories, but at the end of the day, in order to be excellent, you gotta you celebrate the victory already, small or big. We always acknowledge our victories, but then we move on, because in order to be excellent, you can't just, think about your last championship. You got to go on to the next one, right? So that's what our mindset's been about, regarding some of my core values in life. Number 1 is integrity. Number 2 is service, and number 3 is excellence in all you do, right? So those 3 things. It's just it's very fitting that you have that topic excellence, right? Because that's part of my lifestyle, part of my work ethics as well too.
Yes. Oh wow. I mean, I just love. I can really hear and feel the passion that you have for the people and also for the role that you play, because it is integral. Given the fact that you are the chief of staff, you would have, besides your own personal values, you would also have a list of qualities, I suppose. So, skill sets aside, because I think skills, I think you would agree with me that skills can be learned.
Yes.
But it's those inherent values or inherent skills that's within each one of us is what makes us, individuals. And so for you, James, when you build your team, and you look at the individuals in your team, what do you see are the qualities that you really look for?
So are you saying in the sense of pandemic times or post-pandemic, or but for me, I think right now, this day and age, regardless if it's in person or virtual, you have to really decipher and filter that person you meet if there's someone's going to work for my team, or someone's going to be part of my team, rather. I believe that, you have to really, from the time of their application or the time of the message or the time of, the first, it takes I think I always say 3 to 4 good interactions before I get to know somebody. And those 3 interactions could be small or big. One could be an email, then okay, cool, I've met this. That's one touch point. The second touch point is the application. That's cool, I read it. The third is the third email, and then fourth is the final meeting. So there's 3 or 4 interactions until something happens. And then when you finally meet that person, skills can be learned, but at the same time, are you gonna trust this person? Are they gonna be really loyal? Are they gonna be really part of the team? Can you tell if they have hidden agendas? Can you tell if that they're gonna be selfish? Can you tell that if they're gonna fumble or make a mistake, will they have the integrity to own up to it? You have to find a way to process those questions when you talk to somebody when you first meet them. You have to really find out how true that person is and how valuable they can be to your mission. Of course, I'll take everyone's work experience into consideration, but personal characteristics, especially now in the virtual world, is very, very important. Because unlike in the office place, you could, physically see if someone's working. You saw people fall asleep in the office before. I catch people. I caught students sleeping. I catch employees sleeping. I caught teachers sleeping. I caught fellow principals sleeping. Okay. So, you could physically see somebody putting the work effort into it. But now if you're in an online setting, right, you're gonna have to see how responsive that person is. Of course, there's expectations to be here at a certain time and be available. Okay. There's no perfect science yet to it. You could have a clock in, clock out system. You can have a person join every single meeting. But how do you know they're doing the work? How do then you know that they're doing those things? So those are the questions you have to be upfront about when you meet somebody, who's going to be working for your team, and if they're involved will fit your mission, right? Yeah. Those are the things I really think about when adding somebody to my team and who wants to work for me, right? And that's just the bare minimum. For Kumu, I don't hire nobody because Kumu in general, we're almost at 300 employees total.
Well,
I take care of one department on top of all the other staff, all the managers, all the leaders. I help cultivate a culture between the executives, the other managers from other departments in the entire Kumu company. Our department we call it the community, the user community department. We have over 170 employees now, actually, that directly report to me. So I'll have a team, which includes Mafe as well, right? That we have to, I have to make sure I trust them in making that filter process go through. I have to instill some of my own advice of who we should hire, who should be part of the team, right? I try to. I don't like saying be a role model at all. I'm not a role model, but I try to inspire and motivate our managers and our key leaders to make sure that the ones that we're hiring has that Kumu blood. What I mean by Kumu blood is that even with Kumu, for this now we're talking about straight business practices for your specific company. For me, I like to have users, customers, consumers of our product be the ones working for our product. That's the most important thing for me. I got that from Ben & Jerry's ice cream, where they only hire loyal customers to be working for those employees, right? Same thing at like USAA Insurance back in the United States. It's an insurance company that tailored to military veterans, but they only hire dependents and military veterans, folks who've were living a military lifestyle, right? Not just troops, but the dependents too. So from those two companies, I thought to myself about Kumu, it was like the same thing. I don't want anybody in this user community department, which has a lot of different sub-functions. I don't want them to not know the product. I want them to be religiously loving the product and making sure they're really there to make the product better. Yeah. So you have your own filter process for your applications, who become a team, and also you have your own company ideals. You mesh those both, and then boom, you have a hiring practice that I don't know how it works, but it works because I got a lot of awesome people on the team that love the product now, and love making improvements for the next batch of users.
Speaking of love, hello, Kumu family who's tuned in on the Kumu app here on Facebook. I see you all there. Dropping the comments. Nick said, where can he apply? But I've seen James in action, and I see him daily. Even if we don't see each other physically, I feel the aura and the environment that he's created. Each person I meet a new person every day, and it's just the same type of energy. And I'm just like, I love this. The leaders have really created, an environment where they're welcome, and it's true. Skills can be taught, but character and integrity, you have to have that in your heart. And that's something I always preach also with my team. And I know, Yona, you do the same, that, hey, we can get anyone. I can teach you the skills, but if you don't have the love, you don't have the, the loyal factor, or, just being trusted, right? Having the integrity, then why will I waste my time if you're not going to give me your 100%? Why will I give you my 100%, right? There's so much more other people there that are hungry. And, speaking of that, drop your halo and your lechon, because James is hungry right now. See, I get this from them. I'm like, it's never serious anymore. You know me, Yona. I'm like,
yeah, I know.
Here comes James and Roland. Drop the halo in our meetings. I'm like, guys, what the heck is happening?
No,
serious meeting.
I must admit, when Mafe told me about Kumu, I was like, what is this? What's this? This new social media platform,
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I am not I generally don't, go online and things like that. And when I first got on to speak with Mafe, I had the best time because seriously, because I was receiving these halos.
Yes.
I know.
Receiving a halo is way better than just getting a heart on other social media platforms, right? So you're getting a gift is actually more awesome, I think, in my opinion.
100%. And then the other day, my husband and I had our first show. And we had the Communiverse or something like that, the actual
the Corona.
I was like, yes. I was like, pumped. I was like, I was even trying to get it on my head and stuff, but and I just love that approach. You've the team, the Kumu team, and I love that you always refer to it's the team, and I know you all it's said everywhere. It's community, right? And I love how you've really, the team have really infused that Filipino flavor in all the essence of that word, in terms of just the way we speak, the gifts that we give, and just that sense of family, that, that community and getting people together to inspire one another. And, Mafe and I always talk about this, and it's all about, community over competition. And I love that about Kumu, because you all are so great at lifting each other up. I attended a meeting, a couple of weeks back, and the person who was presenting, you could tell she loved her job.
Bless, we love you.
Seriously, the way she did her presentation, I was like, I love, she was just on a different vibe. And, it takes you to a different place. As a person who's receiving, this isn't just receiving information, you're receiving a culture. You're receiving a vibe, you're receiving a feeling. And that is something that, it's so amazing, because that is so hard to just do it by PowerPoint, right? Oh, this is how you give a vibe. No, but because what you said, you hire people who truly believe in the product.
Yes.
And so they really speak it in everything that they do. I just absolutely love that. I mean, for you hit the nail on the head where you said, you guys cultivate a culture. And how is it that, I know there's a plethora of, variables that plays a part in culture, but I think from a high level, what are the things that people can do to cultivate such a great culture, especially when working with remote teams?
I think it's the core values of what your mission for the company is, right? And we say it's for us, for Kumu, it's safe, it's positive, and we are accepting to all. And that goes for our staff, that goes to our users, that goes to our platform, right? We stick with those guns right there. You know, we like to say, let's really stick with that. Say positive, acceptance to all. If we're able to really, if those are your driving factors of your mission statement or your goals of your company or team or the thing, the structure you want to give culture to, you have to have some type of, mantra, some type of goals. When people think about you, they think about those things that happen there, right? It's never perfect. You're not going to get all three all the time, but if you keep on working towards that, I think that that creates the culture, right? At the same time, I'm coming from a sports background as a football coach, and you look at the culture of sports teams. When you think of purple and gold, people think the Lakers. When you think about baseball, you think about the Yankees and bring blue, right? So there's also the fun part, right? Is like the marketing, right, of the culture. He's not sad. Look at him. Our Carlito Tarzier is not sad. Right? He's doing thumbs up, right? So the culture of it, we really provide a place for Kumu is that we try to dub it the social media Disneyland, where people could go to any other platforms and act how they ever want to act, and they can do all that on in other platforms, right? If you want to receive daily prayers and criticisms and chisme from your aunt, go to that blue platform, right, called FB. If you want to see, fake images of people's fake lives and everything edited, go to IG. That's fine. Okay. But for Kumu, you look at an area where you want to come in as yourself and come in knowing that you're trying to get away from all that to come into a happy and positive environment that you feel safe, positive, and accepting. Same thing like Disneyland. In Disneyland, you're not going to see rival political parties sports wearing their political affiliations. You're going to see Mickey Mouse t-shirts, princess this t-shirt, Star Wars stuff at Disneyland. And that's what Kumu's all about, is when you build your culture, you have to have boundaries and things to protect your culture, right? And when you're infusing that culture, like regardless if it's the mantra or it's the marketing, it's the, shout out to Vicky Herrera for also being a VP of marketing for Kumu. Shout out to you for keeping us sane for the last 3 years. And then it's also people like Blessy, me and Roland, he lost some hair. I gained a lot of weight. Angel Mendez and I we gained a lot of weight. We're protecting this culture for the sake of our health, and we're doing our best, right? And we have so many meetings, but the people that you hire, the people that you bring along with you, how could they help defend the culture? How could they help protect the culture? How could they help promote the culture? So that's what you want to think about. Like Blessy is a great example. Power user that turned staff, and now she's doing presentations. Yeah. She leads campaigns to help bring revenue now, and it's been a remarkable story. And she was just a college graduate. Yeah. Okay. So age and experience has nothing to do with it for me. It's all about people who love the company, but the culture. You go back to culture, it has to be people that want to defend it and say, hey, this is what Kumu's all about, right? This is, or whatever, fill in whatever job you're doing or whatever company you work for. This is what we're all about. And you have to have people that are cheerleaders for that, but are loyalist cheerleaders, not just ones that just done it for a job. Hi, down Kumu. Hey, no, you want people like Bessie. I know she's bubbly. I know she's positive, she's right? Amazing. And that's not fake. It's really her. That's when you really meet her in real life. That's her, and that's what Kumu is all about. Is you bring your authentic self, So going back to culture, you have to have a lot of things in place to really protect and preserve it. And the mission statement it starts with the mission statement and goals, Oh,
I love that. No, when Blessy did that presentation, I was really like wowed by the passion that she had about the presentation. Like anybody can present, right? They can just go buy the PowerPoint, But the way she did it, honestly, I was like, I messaged Marfe and I was like, man, who is this girl? This girl is amazing.
Who did a guest star on your show?
I was like,
yeah.
it's as if she's on a show. I was just like, she was so good. Like she was like, bam. And I'm like, yes. It was so much fun. You know, she really made that fun. And I think I can feel that from you, James, how you really, you know, culture is definitely important to everybody. And I love that it's important to all the leaders. Now for you, you know, in terms of leadership, and I know you've got a very strong foundation being a veteran, also with your background in sports and of course in education. Now that's pretty solid foundation right there. But I know, you know, I know that, you know, like with technology, things do change and they evolve. Yes. So with you as even as a person, you know, how do you invest in yourself, or what's it that you do to invest in yourself in order to continue to hone in on those leadership skills?
Okay. Regarding leadership skills, it's connecting with others still, right? And it's adapting and connecting with others. Obviously transitioning from the military to education, a lot of similarities. For me, transitioning from education to the tech space, to the startup space, very different. I am, you know, when you meet me in person, you could tell I love being in front of I don't care about being in front of the crowd. I like being in the crowd. I love being with the people. I love being around people. So not having the physical interactions is very tough for me, right? So you cultivate something virtually by using the tools around you, okay? So for example, you have a WhatsApp group chat. If I'm the leader of a WhatsApp group chat and I'm not heard in that group chat for X amount of days, am I really leading? You know, these are just the new age things to think about, right?
Yep. How
could you know, extroverts, introverts, whatever the case may be, you're in a group chat, right? If you're whatever type of leadership you bring to the table, or what type of personality you have, or whatever NBTI trait you have, you know, shout out to my ENTJs, all right? But when you think about how do you show up to work, you know, if you're a leader on a group chat, okay? Are you participating? Are you inspiring others? Are you really being able to be yourself and be open? Hey, DM me anytime. Or you set up a process of how to contact you. If you're in X amount of group chats or X amount of different platforms that you're part of because of your job, because there's different ways of communication all through, right? How attentive are you to all those things? If you're a leader, you're gonna be able to manage yourself in those areas. I don't like using Slack. I hate using Slack. Personally, I don't like using Slack. All right.
Me too.
I get it. Slack's cool.
Yeah, it doesn't make it.
I met the founder and CEO of Slack. He was breakdancing in San Francisco at a Filipino event. So shout out to that guy. He's pretty cool though. But I get annoyed of using Slack. Okay. But so with Slack, you know, I do my part. I show up there at least. I'm putting more facts there. Like it's like Slack is like, you know, like it's like this. It's like me putting a polo shirt on now, right? This is me at Slack right here. So, Slack. Okay, I'm like this, right? Like it's all data. It's all data. Like this is my serious face. I don't know why my fingers. This is like it's like data. Here's the facts. Good job. Yes, I will do that. No problem. Here's the data to back it up. Oh wow, the line went really up this week. Oh, went really down this week. So you interact that way. Yeah. And there's different group chats you can interact to. Then at the same time, you're communicating, you're adapting to those platforms. You're learning how to communicate. You're learning how to be a jokester in those things. A jokester, but a professional, right? You're learning how to do a lot of different things. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
But it's also been experienced into it, right? So we had evals this whole month. Shout out to Isabella for scheduling all those evals this month and my boy EJ, and of course the awesome Eula, Claire, helping me out with evals every single day. And again, it's showing up. It's having a process. It's making sure that you're present. But how can you do an eval in a virtual space if you haven't even met somebody, right?
Great, yeah.
Right, that's the hardest part. It's like this week we had to do evals. I haven't even met you, but I'm giving you a tough score. Like, I think you deserve a 3, bro, because X, Y, and Z. It's so hard. I can't do that. It's so hard. So when you're leading in a virtual space, it's all about the input now. You have weekly reports, which we get weekly check-ins. We do weekly meetings. You do X and Y. You don't want to kill them with meetings, but you do serious touch points. There's a fine balance. I've seen it all a lot in this virtual space. Like, we shouldn't have meetings at all. Then all of a sudden, then you go back to Slack, then you see the line drop, right? We shouldn't have meetings at all. The line drops. Then all of a sudden, all right, I think we should meet more. Then the line goes up. Like, oh, okay, right? So again, it takes time and experience in this virtual space to really find yourself to be a leader. I can't. I always tell this even to other coaches who are successful or unsuccessful. It's your own chemistry. It's your own, your own magic that you bring to the table. I can't explain it sometimes where I'm doing evals, but I know that person's job and worth because I do touch points with the manager. I do one-on-ones. I do city hall meetings. I do, infrequent one-on-ones. Right. I text one-on-one. I do voice chat. I do for a virtual space for leadership, just like my principal and my teacher door was always open for my students. It's the same thing for me. Right. It's the same thing for me. But I do process because I think I get more emails and messages than I ever had in my life working this job now. But
I bet.
So that's been a change for me. Right. But you have a team around you that helps you out, and you're good to go. But this again, it's adapting to the new virtual environment and trying to find yourself in different platforms that you have to use. So that's it. Learn different platforms and adapt to it, to your leadership and communication styles.
Oh, I love it. I mean, clearly, James, you are the type of person who definitely leads by example. I think, that's one thing that has really shined through. And I just love how you're so enthusiastic about what you do. And it rubs off, right? It rubs off.
It's mild, Yarna. This is very mild.
I got the polo on. I got the polo on. It's mild today. I told you, right? See?
He's got his
Slack moment.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Once you meet him face to face, you're gonna not stop.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. When the day that I'm able to travel to the Philippines, I will definitely ask Mafe to organize some sort of meetup so that I can get to meet.
Trust me, James will have it lined up. He's actually like he's having a hard time not having these events.
Yeah.
We had some love with it, what happened in the Philippines. But I do want to ask one more question to James, because I know this is really probably powerful, because going back, right? And I think I asked you this before in a separate interview, or just, we talk about it in general. Starting, when you first started, giving advice to young people now.
Yeah.
I know it's challenging. I know there was a lot of people that were not supporting you. So what made you just keep on going? What would be your advice to the young people now that want to take that leap of faith, or any age group, with all, the people that just don't believe in you, but then now they believe in you? What's your advice?
I think you keep dreaming, and like I always, like when I was an educator, my favorite question I would ask teachers, students, and other administrators, I didn't care about the age. I would ask everybody, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? And I always ask that, right? And I remember before Roland made that phone call for me, I asked that to myself, what do you want when you grow up? I'm like, I asked it myself because like I got to that point where, all right, I'm gonna go to get this principal's job. But now after that, I didn't ask myself that, right? So that when Roland called, I was surprised. But you still keep on dreaming because you don't ever know what's the next opportunity will be, right? So I would just tell you, the youth out there is they're finish the structure. You're supposed to go to school, do all that, get your degree. Education is important, right? A little fun fact about me, I don't ever talk about it, but I do have a master's of education at University of San Francisco, right? So I never tell people about that, or, you know, it's just funny because you never know what the opportunity is going to be given to you and you go take it, right? And at that time, I took that opportunity and then became a principal. There's so many different opportunities you have to think about. Like, I think here, I'll start over again. Young person, here's my advice to you, right? Gain as much experience as you can, and fill those experiences up with positive memories. And from there, you're able to choose and wisely for your next opportunity, right? So that's it right there. You know, keep on doing a lot of experiences, right? Don't stop, you know, educating yourself in any platform, any way, or any medium. Keep educating yourself, keep learning, keep dreaming, right? And haters will come. That's fine. People who don't believe in you, that's fine. You have aunts and uncles and cousins and brothers and sisters maybe that might not believe in your dream. That's fine. But you keep on doing different experiences to open yourself up to different opportunities. Don't burn no bridges. Like I said, just open yourself up. Experience more than what you know, right? So that's it. Get as many experiences as you can, so you're able to decide what's the best opportunity for your next one.
I love it. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think you are absolutely right. You know, I think I had a recent interview and the person shared that life is like a buffet, right?
Yeah, I totally understand that.
We take a bite of each of it and we get to experience it. We get to taste it. We get to see it. We get to smell it. And it's all about those senses that we continue to fill ourselves with, because at the end of the day, every single one of those experiences, be it good or bad, it inspires us to continue to be better and do better. And I so love that. Absolutely love that. And my final question actually for the both of you, because I am, you know, part of Team Australasia for Kumu. So when are you guys going to come here?
Yes.
Right?
I gotta bring my whole brain back.
Is Roland in the comment box? Is Roland in the comment box right there? For any chance, is he there or no? But
come on, guys.
I think that the question for that though, right? But going back to your last thing about the buffet, I totally understand that. And I am a 3 or 4 plate type of guy at the buffet, so I try everything and test everything. So I bring it back like this, you know. That's me. Okay. You know, I miss the buffets too. But we do, before pandemic, we actually had the structure set for a Kumu World Tour, in which we'll go to different areas and different regions to just meet with Kumu users and have a space, have opportunities, get to know their experience as the Kumu user, right? So that question will be answered shortly.
Okay. Well, I will be waiting.
Give you a shirt like this, Yana.
I know. I have to have one of those shirts. I love it. And, you know, like what Mafe said, I am going to be starting my Kumu shows as well. Shows on Kumu.
Awesome.
You know, so I'll definitely be having the both of you on there one of these days. So, you know, get ready.
Please.
We'll continue the fun. But James, maraming salamat for your time and for your sharing, for your enthusiasm, and your basically the fire that you have to continue to inspire and motivate Filipinos globally. I think, you know, what you do and what you and your team do, it's really an inspiration, and it's so. I love the fact that you are lifting up the Filipino people, and, you know, it is up to all of us to come together to raise a flag and really show everybody how much we show up, our integrity, our excellence in
Yes.
everything that we do, not just in work, but, you know, in our personal lives as well. So thank you so much, James. You know, I mean, how can we reach you on Kumu? Share with us.
At James Rumohr. So if my name is spelled right there, put the at sign.
Yep. There it is.
And follow me in any other social media too, except for our competitor applications.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, James.
All right. You guys
we'll
take
definitely
care.
have you on in the future, but thank you so much.
First,
Thanks,
you guys
James.
take care. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Peace.
Talk to you again. Yes, there is not a dull moment with that guy.
No.
And that's why I really appreciate him. And just like what your dad said, you know, don't stop. Please don't stop. Keep going. The world needs you. So James, if you're still listening, all the Filipinos are very happy with, you know, the platform that you have created along with your co-founders.
Yeah.
Because a simple phone call like that has already changed the world by you both saying yes. And Yona, that just means you're coming here because we're going to change the world with them, right?
Oh,
but start there for us and make sure let's spread the word in Australia first.
I'm with Nick. I'm like, where do I apply?
You guys already have Kuma Foundation. What are you talking about?
I know. No, but
you guys need to hire. That's what I'm. That's what you need to do now.
You're repping Buffet. No, I really, I love, you know, how inspiring he is. Like, I mean, you know, you know what? Actually, Buffet, I just love that we get to meet amazing individuals.
Yeah.
Hey, how blessed are we?
When you attract that, you know, that environment, you know, God is listening. The universe is listening, Yarna. I mean, all we want to do is create a great environment for others, empower others. They can be successful in whatever they choose to be, whether it's just simple happiness, right? It doesn't even mean building a big empire. It could be just making sure that the family is healthy. So how do you make sure that happens? Is that you're healthy first. You're okay first.
Exactly.
Right? I saw James in action, you know, like you would love the way that he really treats his team. And I'm so happy to be part of that. You know, I have to be grateful for the Kumu family. You guys are so welcoming. Sometimes I feel
like showed so much support today.
Yes, amazing support. Even on Kumu, if you have the app open, they're nonstop giving gifts and just supporting, you know, shows like this. I appreciate them so much. Guys, JP, Eula, Bea, I see, you know, everybody else here. Let me say that.
Thank you, everybody.
Diana, hello, guys. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat.
Please, Naomi, like guys, please support Australasia Kumu. Yona is one of the main ambassadors there, and I know she will, and along with the other ambassadors, will create a domino effect to the Australians and New Zealanders. So, Yona, thank you for allowing me to be your co-host today. I know that we miss Martin, but I know you'll have more successful shows with her in the next few weeks, right?
That's right. No, but you know, I'm just so inspired and so motivated, and seriously, like really fired up. It was one of those things where, you know, you're right. Like when you truly believe in something and you really, you really want something so bad, I think people see that, and I think those types of people end up just the magnet is stronger when, you know, those people just are within each other's space. And, you know, I just love being also in your energy, Mafe. I watched you in action this morning. Congratulations to Mafe for having an amazing presentation and workshop. That was, I mean, I was like, you know, I wanted to just like, I was just hands up. I was so fired up. Like, I was fired up from you, and then now I'm fired up from James. Like, my goodness. And then we've got another show later on. And so what an amazing way to celebrate life today on this beautiful Friday. So everybody, please, you know, be thankful and be grateful for what you have. Be thankful and grateful for today. And please, like, you know, what we always share, you know, in everything that you do, sprinkle that bit of excellence, that bit of your excellence in everything that you do, so that you can show to be better and just do better. And, you know, we can do that as a community. And for everybody, who hasn't got it, download Kumu. And follow Australasia Kumu. So yeah, I'm so inspired. But thank you everybody for joining me, and Mafe, of course. Thank you for always being by my side. Thank you, everybody.
Always.
Bye.